What is up, Worcester? It is time for the first player signing of the 2025-26 season presented by Fly Worcester. He is your captain. He is your franchise leader in goals, assists, points, you name it. Anthony Repaci back for the 2025-26 ECHL season. Patch, welcome back to Worcester.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tim. Super excited to be back. Obviously, it was a little bit of a tough season last year, but we're working on building towards something special here, and looking forward to getting back to the DCU again in front of the fans and seeing you guys all again.
And we'll talk about last season and how everything really went down. But first off, just want to learn a bit more about how your summer's been going, what you've been up to, and how you've been relaxing here this off season.
Oh, it's been great. Obviously, I'm back home in Toronto right now. It's always nice to see your family, your friends, spend some time out on the lake, get out, play a few rounds of golf. So it's been very relaxing. Obviously, it's a long hockey season, so nice to have that downtime and enjoy it with some family and friends.
How's the golf game looking these days?
Not bad. I was actually playing a lot more in Worcester before I left. It was nice to get out with some of the guys there. My golf game's all right. It's always, can use some work. Can't get off the tee right now, so that's been a problem. Just trying to keep that 3-wood in play, but I'll keep working on it.
Let's talk more about what it is that brought you back here to Worcester. First off, just your conversation with head coach and general manager Nick Tuzzolino. What was it like in talking with him and deciding you wanted to come back?
Well, first and foremost, I think Worcester's become a second home for me. I just love being around the city. I love playing at the DCU in front of the fans, being around all you guys. I made it pretty tough to even consider wanting to leave. I love being there. I love being around you guys. So uh, it just felt right, and it's something I want to do and come back. I've been saying it for a few years now that I want to be a part of something special in Worcester and bringing a championship team and a winning team back to the city. And I feel like I do owe it to the city. I owe it to the fans, and so ultimately it came down to that, and made my decision pretty easy to want to come back. And then, secondly, obviously talking to Tuz, I think he's really building something special in Worcester. And like I just said, we had a tough season last year, but although the ending was the same and the result was the same, that last weekend, it did feel a little bit different, and different in the sense that, the way we were playing and how hard we were to play against. And, you look at that second half of the season, I'd say, right around Christmas time or just starting the new year. I don't have the numbers on hand. You could probably help me out with that. But I would say we were fifth or sixth in the league record wise. We made a good push for it. We had a chance to get in, and I think next year we're just going to continue to build off of that and build and continue to implement what Tuz is, building with this group. So I'm just super excited to get back, and we're going to have a good core come back, and the fans you guys will see in the next, obviously, few weeks and month here, the guys that are bringing back and the new guys that we're bringing in. So I'm really excited to get back there and, put on a show for the fans and be back in Worcester.
Let's talk a little bit about that second half of the season, as you alluded to a moment ago there, right around the turn of the year. Pound for pound, the team was one of the best teams in the ECHL record-wise, as you mentioned it. What did it feel like to you being on that team, being part of why you was able to carry so much momentum and just seeing everybody really click across all facets of the game?
I just think there was a buy-in from our group, and everyone really understood their role, and I think that started with Tuz. You know, you can't get behind the eight ball a little bit too early in this league, and that's exactly what happened to us. We had a lot of new faces, and not to make excuses, but that's the reality of it. A lot of new faces, new coaching staff last year, so we obviously didn't get off to the start we wanted. And I think we fell, below 500. What do we have? 7, 8 games under 500 around that Christmas time, which ultimately led to a coaching change. And when Tuz took over, he had us bought in from day one. And as soon as that change happened, you could sense there's a different sense of urgency, and I felt like our group, we really did have a chance. And the fact that we were able to even get over 500, a few games over 500, we were playing essentially playoff type hockey from January. But you can't be chasing the season, and in this league, it's when you fall behind that quickly, that early. It's really tough to make up ground. But that being said, I'm super super proud of the group, and what we sort of accomplished, just in that second half of the season was really special. And that's why I said it. The result was the same, missing out on the playoffs the last weekend, but it did feel, a lot different than the years prior.
Let's talk about this past season a little bit more, maybe just for you. Uh, a career year for you. You set a personal high in each goals, assists, and points. Had a remarkable run of it at during the season, became an all-star for the first time in your career. Just how did you feel entering into your fourth season and as the year went along last year?
Well, I've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff and my line mates too. It's always nice to play with, super highly skilled players. Getting that belief in the coaching staff and putting you out in key situations, and being able to play on a pretty good power play. Obviously, that helps quite a bit. But it, the reason I say it was a little bit different, and I felt like I had to prove myself a little bit more last year to Nick Tazlino. He comes in and he doesn't know anything about me. I don't know anything about him. Obviously, you can watch some video and things like that. But I had to prove to him that I want to be a leader on this team. I want to be one of his guys, and felt like I did exactly that. And we had that trust. He challenged me early on in the season, and I was able to live up to his challenges. And hopefully, I can continue to build off of that and go into next year with the exact same mentality.
Share with us, if you will, maybe some of the lighter moments of last season. Some of your favorite moments, things that popped up, be it during a game, maybe a moment on the road that nobody really knows about, just things that in your mind you remember about last season.
Well, I'll keep the moments on the road to the guys in that locker room, but yeah, I think I say this answer probably every year, but just the specialty nights that we have at the DCU, Military Appreciation Night. It's always a blast when we're able to pack the building, and it gets rowdy, and we feed off that. We really do. We feed off that crowd, and it just makes it a lot more fun playing. You can feel that energy in the building, and there's games you go out there and you might be feeling a little down or you don't have your legs, but when that crowd gets behind you, you just get that extra jolt of energy, and it's nice to have that support. And we do have such great fans. Like, these guys are willing to travel wherever it is. They come down to Glens Falls every time we're there. They came to Reading. They got on a flight and came down to the southern trip with our group. So just getting that support, obviously, it means the world to us, and we love having them.
You talk about the big theme nights, obviously Ice Cats night being one that you've made a mark in over the years. It was just announced last week that the Railers are going to be hosting Sharks night this year. Talk about the excitement, anticipation, maybe in that, another chapter of Worcester Pro Hockey history coming back to life at the DCU Center.
Yeah, it's super nice, and you get a lot of alumni that come out, and these are names that you hear about, but to be able to get to meet these guys and have an opportunity to have a conversation and hear stories about when they were playing in Worcester back in the day, and there's still similarities but so many differences. So it's nice to get the opportunity to sit down and have conversations with those guys, and that's another one of those nights that the fans really get up for. They look forward to that game, and we really pack the building. The jerseys are awesome. We love wearing those ones. So it's another night. Very excited to get the Worcester Sharks going again and get some nice jerseys, some nice gitch. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Let's reflect a little bit more on Worcester Pro Hockey history. You're carving your own niche in Worcester's storied history of having professional hockey here in the city. It's been over 30 years since pro hockey's first started in Worcester, but you've really been sort of the face of an era here, if you will. Talk about how you sort of reflect on that in the context of Worcester's hockey history as a whole.
Well, I joke with the older guys that do come back and tell them it's a little bit easier for me because it was the American League when they were playing, so I was a little bit higher of a level. But with that being said, it's still pro hockey, and I couldn't have ever expected it to go this way when I first came and signed in Worcester 4 years ago. 4 years, yeah, 4 years ago was my first year there, and right away, I just embraced the city. They're very passionate. Hockey's the number one sport there. They love us. They give us all the support. So it's become home, and I love playing in the city and being able to share stories with all the alumni and the guys who have essentially paved the way for us. And nice to have pro hockey back in Worcester.
And lastly, for you here, Patch, just if you would, something you're looking forward to this season, and a message you might have for fans who are looking forward to coming out and seeing you once again wear the jersey here down at the DCU Center coming up on October 18th?
Playoff hockey. That's all I got to say. That's what we're building towards. I'm keeping my promise. I guess I'll be around as long as we keep going this way. But I'm a man of my word, and I know we're building towards that. And we will be bringing playoff hockey to Worcester, and try and pave our way towards a Kelly Cup championship. So, looking forward to seeing all you fans. Can't wait to get back in the city, and we'll see you guys soon.
A man of his word, Anthony Repaci, your captain, returning for his 5th season in a Worcester Railers jersey. Pats, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Tim. We'll see you soon.